Hello, I'm with Siraj Taj. Siraj, tell me a little bit about your company and its role in the power business.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. My company has recently started in August of 2016. It's called Power Services. And my background is the OEM background. I spent about nearly 25 years with companies like ABB and Alstom in the thermal power plant area. So my energy background is 30 years or so. And now in the last 3 years, I've been working with the owners of the power plant to keep their thermal assets viable in the current transforming market.
Right, that's very interesting. I know that you attended the Plant Management Institute here at Electric Power, I think, on Tuesday. I'm very curious, what did you pick up on what the concerns are from plant owners and operators?
Okay, so most of the people in there in the plant management group are owners or the plant managers of the thermal assets, so coal and gas. And everybody knows that we're going through a transition period where coal is shutting down, gas or the traditional model is now moving away from a base load to more cyclic, and their capacity factors are going down. So there were four major items or concerns that were raised. One is the plant closure. So what happens with the plant closure? What do we do with the workforce, the morale of the workforce, and all of that? And second part was the obsolescence management. Majority of those plants they were built in the 1990s and 2000, and the technology is becoming obsolete. So how do you keep those assets more efficient and viable in the current market? And the third is with the changing technology, how do they train the workforce that is there? So I sensed it that there is a transition period going on where the traditional power plant O&M team are feeling vulnerable to this transition. And it's a very big concern that the industry has to address it, that while we're moving towards the clean energy, we shouldn't forget about these guys who are actually keeping the plants operating and running, and they are truly concerned about their own viability in the industry.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. Now, I really wanted to ask you, because your company has almost a bird's eye view of the industry and the global industry, the power sector. Mm-hmm. What are some concerns that you sense that we are about to see? Where do you think that we should be looking in terms of risks or opportunities?
Okay, so while everybody is moving toward thinking about 2045, 2050, clean energy and all that, but I think we may be losing sight of what is relevant now. Mm-hmm. In the next 10 years. We're not going to be successful if you lose sight of the thermal generation. The gas turbines are going to be the backbone of this transition period. And one of the things I notice is the operating models are changing, and now those operating models going from baseload to a flexible operations and more reliability and availability of those assets. Owners of the power plant need to invest the money in keeping those technologies and those power plants more viable, and need to start also transitioning towards the new workforce that's coming in, which is, for lack of a better term, is the millennials, right? The younger generation. And that younger generation doesn't understand the old technology. Sure. And we have no mechanism at the moment to be prepared and train those guys, because the workforce is leaving and they're taking the knowledge with them. And how are we going to bridge the gap? So that's my real takeaway. And in this is my first time coming to the Electric Power Conference, and I found it very, very informative. It's an excellent program that you guys put together where we're talking about the relevant issue. And one of the relevant issue is that while we transition to the new future, how do we manage this change? And the only way we're going to manage this change is not lose sight of the existing assets that are out there, and we need to make them viable. And that's what my company is doing, is working with these thermal plant guys to keep them relevant, viable, and also make them efficient so they can make money and be competitive in the market. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult transition period.
Right. And struggle to employ.
Exactly.
So thank you, Siraj. Will you be back to electric power next year?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll come back, and I enjoyed the panel discussion, and I was one of the part of the panel, and continue to be more actively involved in the industry. So you guys have been, you've given me a good avenue to do that. So
We
thank
hope
you.
to see you for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.